my thing. I have to do it every time.
That's the
Nigga, the comments still coming.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm melting on New Game Plus. The first time I played it with the graphics.
And this is my first fight against him. I already got him in half.
Oh, did you new game it or New Game Plus?
No, this is still my first New Game Plus. I just never.
New Game Plus, I'm melting.
He's still tanky as fuck. Especially with my lightning. No, I do see the lightning shit got buffed, so I don't get staggered nearly as much, thank God. I'm being trolled. There's no way. Okay, I killed him on the first try. Never mind.
I got you in the red with the beat.
Everything sound messed up, chat.
Are we here?
Everything sound alright? I had a malfunction. I don't know. You hear me good? Everyone could be heard. You're hearing echoes.
Only these niggas some lazy, niggas some pussy, these niggas get fucking roasted. Only these niggas the same, you niggas some burgers, you niggas get Texas toasted. This is Texas out, you talk to me, you can get
for years.
Roasted. I spend all this money and make it back like it's a fucking token. If they said, how are you doing, like how are you moving, they wanna know my flow. How do you get all these bitches, I got all these bitches, they wanna see my hoes. Only these niggas some lame, these niggas some pussy, these niggas get fucking roasted. All you niggas the same, you niggas some burgers, you niggas get Texas toasted. This is Texas out, you talk to me, you can get fucking ghosted. I spend all this money and make it back like it's a fucking token. Nigga, I paid my dues, Phantom of the Black, nigga, I'm fucking golden.
That's the wrong screen, that's the wrong screen, that's the right screen. Okay, people. Oh, I gotta put up the, give me a sec, my fault. There we go. How y'all boys doing?
We chillin'.
Chad, do they sound low to you? Or can you hear them? I don't know if you guys sound low.
We sound low? Come on, man.
I can talk a bit louder. I was kind of whispering. I'm not gonna
Hey,
hold you.
I can turn you
man.
up. It's not a big deal. It's just I'm usually one who's low.
I'm yelling at chat, man.
I'm the one that's on that low. You know though, for show. No, you guys are fine. All right. Say hi to YouTube. This will be on YouTube later, but you already know it's time for that monthly Kubera discussion, and the chapter that we're gonna get to when we get to. Oh my god, she's not human. She's unreal. But this whole time you whine me stuff with Anata and Rao has been intriguing in its own right. Like I didn't expect to see Rao in this way, in this light. So this is very interesting. And we did know what was the saying is that Rao liked to take on missions that were really dangerous with like a low level of success or something like that. I can't remember exactly how they said it, because they said Rao tended to not like value his own life or sense of self like that. But you about to hop into something crazy. But hey, how y'all doing, Mr. Venitas Miles? How y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. You know, we here, Kubera to go. I want to be done with school already. I'm tired. I hate group projects. I never want to do another one again.
Is this your last semester? I'm not last semester. Last you know what I mean, like your last term for the year.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be doing summer stuff, so it never ends.
The grind doesn't stop. He took on almost suicide mission to feel value in his life. Well, there you go. But hold on, it's Asha, you're in the way just a little bit. You covering up my guy. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, take her off the screen.
we don't got to do all that now. I might though. First, but all right. We'll start with the conversation where I like that Maruna obviously can recognize. You know Maruna's kind of bad at recognizing humans in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I actually immediately could tell it was a telling sign that he can tell that Ra was related to Lee's. So that was interesting. You could just tell that he's growing in certain types of ways and whatnot. But what kind of interests me initially is just how these two started to get to know one another and why he started to use Rao. Obviously, we could assume it's really because of the creation of Kubera Lee's, but I wonder how these two got close in the first place. That was kind of one of my first initial thoughts, to the point where Rao considers Anata to really be his friend. I was arguing that
Mm-hmm.
they come across closer to me than Anan and Anata do. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. I wasn't saying
Okay.
anything.
Would you guys agree with me that Anata and Rao seem closer than Anan and him do?
Yes.
Yeah.
I still think it's obviously telling and important that he would give his spell out. Like the sand. I think I can't remember which one is supposed to be like more personalized, but he still obviously like had his reasons for that too. A part of me like Anato's at the point where like I think because of his time shenanigans, nothing he does I don't think he does without good reason. So like I'm like I don't want to overanalyze or underanalyze anything he does, but I'm at the point where it's like, does he just know everything? Like, is Anan here solely due because like Rana and Ran? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm starting to like do like, is he the great mastermind manipulator? I don't want to go that far though, because then I'll I'll mess the story up for myself. Where I was like, Anata knew the whole time. I'll convince myself, no matter what's happening, that he knew somehow, or he experienced it in some shape or form. So, and this is post summer stuff with Garuda, but when um Rao starts talking about being able to go back to his time someday, and Anata says that he'll never be able to go back. He can't go back to that life. This will be the last journey. Do you guys think that's true?
Well, we go by what Rich.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich. Wrong
Because
story.
didn't Asha
But
technically
Asha said,
isn't
yeah,
Asha the reason he passes away?
yeah.
I was,
That's what I'm saying. If we go for that
but
story, what she said, what Callie said.
What's up, Mensa?
oh, I
Go ahead.
I took it as well. Going, I just want to say with the Anan thing, I always felt like Anata more so pity Anan over anything. But with this, I took it as Anata stole him from the time frame right before his death. So
So
everybody still
even if
thought
he
he
goes back
died.
to his time, he's about to. But okay. Oh, that's
So
interesting.
like that's why I thought he was technically he never died basically where we're at in the story, he never died because he was taken out right before his death. So which was like kind of like opportune for Renata because the world would view him as dead, kind of allowing them like this infinite time to
Mm-hmm.
do shit within this time. I know it sounds like very congested, but like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I thought this would be his true death when they say like this is the end of your journey.
Okay. Katan says, I think Anata didn't know. He considered the possibility that he wouldn't succeed this time too, and Rao will die here as well. That's not even a
Yeah,
possibility because he's probably done this so many times. It just comes to beg the question because he does mention later on to Maruna about a girl that he likes, which possibly means that this version of Rao hasn't conceived yet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That's the
true.
only
Okay.
pushback that I'm having with what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I'm like, in the next chapter when we're like, this nigga keeps talking, be quiet. He's like, oh yeah, there's a girl I like. I don't know, I'm gonna go back. He's like, you just rambling, right? And he mentions that, so I'm like, I don't know, but
Oh no. Okay, you're probably right because okay, we'll get to like
yeah,
what. Okay, I think I know exactly what happens in
yeah,
based
okay.
off the last chapter. We'll get there.
Hmm. So this is the chapter we see like, well, possibly. I'm going with Tilda, which is very interesting. The Kanara half going on a rampage and stuff, and here we see that some of the humans and talking around like the king of humans and everything. And I think this is the part where Indra says, "All you need is a justification." Like this nigga's a monster. He's basically like, listen, you don't even have to believe in what you're saying or what you're doing, whatever. As long as you have good enough reason, as the king of humans, they'll follow lock and step with what you're doing. And I'm like, bro, this guy's a demon. I like it though. I'm messing with it, but I'm gonna find the panel.
Yeah, him and Ashur need to be locked up.
Yeah, Ashura just chooses violence. Yeah, here we go. Moreover, they hope the king will recognize and reward them for their deeds once they return. Such loyal pledges can only be spoken since resurrection is possible. And this is around the time where Hati Vishnu was still being used a lot. Um, Even so, these are precious human ties for you. I think he talks about the knight being disbanded. If you don't trust them, who else would they have to trust? Even though they are sticking close to you in hopes to get rewarded, you can't abandon them. And then I think his part where he's like, "What is as here we go. All you have to do is make a decision, 16th Daksha. As the king of humans, you are entitled to declare the rejection of Venus magic on behalf of all human beings, you know?" And he's like, all you need is a sufficient justification. I'm like, bro,
Bro,
he
it's always something with these dudes, man. They can't just. They just like, we gotta give us a reason. We'll destroy everything. Like, bro, what is good with y'all, man? This is why we can't ever reach the.
This is
We keep
why
on destroying
was it Art
everything.
Ram who said it? Like you believe in a God when the world's this messed up. Like that's why I'm on his wave. Like I'm not messing with anything these guys are doing or saying. Like Indra is very interesting because he's kind of like a god, the god chaos merchant as the king of the Aztecas. But I'm like Ashura, as far as the Aztecas go, I'm like, why does he just keep choosing to be a menace and violent? Why is he raised like this? Who allowed him to do this?
Yeah,
Somebody needs to hit him.
something. Yeah, something wrong with old boy.
I
He
don't
got
know.
he got a lot of undealt with issues.
Yeah. Okay. So we kind of get here to the aftermath of the spear not working. I don't. We may have not spoken about the last chapter, but the spear fails. But apparently, if the spear fails, it means that what's supposed to happen, what's happening, is not a mistake, which means Kanara Avata basically kind of having two names is not supposed to be a mistake within the confines of this universe, which is a kind of a crazy thought to have but even though Kubera later on says that he actually considered this possibility happening, bonjour mon coeur. So that's just a lot of interesting tidbits here. I am low key speedrunning because I'm trying to get to the part that I really want to get to. Not that this was a bad chapter, but I think they all got hit by transcendental too, right?
Yeah. So I was gonna say a quick thing. So Gandharva is the only technical mishap out of all the Nastica stuff.
Like he stole that name, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Gandharva was never supposed to
Yeah.
be his name, and Gandharva was an important name because it can destroy souls as well, if I remember correctly, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, so there's my goat, Yama. Come to your senses. You should live for if you have lived for this long, you should be able to overcome this level of a mental transcendental. What an all bike and no bar Astica. And then where's the part with I think was it you Katan? I think you said that you thought someone asked me if they thought that was the god of earth Kubera under the transcendental, or he just chose not to answer. I think he just chose not to answer. I think is it around this part, like right here, where he's like, I have no excuses for them. I guess you are no better than me, Kubera. I don't think he's under the transcendental here. I think he's just choosing not to. It wasn't you then? Okay, someone asked her, said that maybe it was Conrad? I can't remember who it was, but someone mentioned it and brought it up. I think he's just not answering. But yeah. She won though. She packed him and pretty much left. Well, Garuda about to come through. I like Garuda. Garuda's got style. But isn't he one of the
He
weaker
does.
kings? Apparently he's one of the weaker kings, isn't he?
I think he's like ranked sixth. He might be ranked seventh. I can't remember.
I want to say seventh, honestly. But
His clan gets no love.
nah, they really don't.
Uh,
From the blog, there was someone asking if Atram died there, but she must not die. Since she still has to leave a great achievement in the world of creation magic. Yeah, it's too early for that. Garuda has the same partial certification in season 3, episode 166, where he faced Ashura. Okay, let's get to the next chapter. So, starts off with Kinarvata speaking with Garuda. You have become the strongest beings. You have the strongest beings as your enemy clan, and ask for my cooperation. I considered you as someone close to me, and sometimes felt a sense of affinity. Recently, it has even come to the close of discussing an alliance, which was going very well. Our exchanges in the past mean nothing now. The number 2 and 3 under you working with the gods to attack me, and you protect me. I love this panel, by the way. How am I supposed to understand the situation? And I think Garuda pretty much takes a very practical approach to this. And I haven't gotten to see too much of either Murna's mom or father, and they both have, I think, some overlapping personality. But I would argue he takes a lot more after his dad here. His dad just seems to be very like pragmatic, I guess, and
Yeah,
Maruna had to break out of that in order to. Is this a chapter, by the way, with partial fifth stage? I think if it's not this one, it's the next one, because that.
I think this is. Oh,
Go ahead.
go on. I don't know if that's, but I was gonna say I think Maroon as a kid takes after his mom a lot
Okay.
before the name change.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So like yeah, he basically he's like it's for a king with limited time, it's my fault for making them uneasy. I hope you understand. Things went too far. Took a lot over like this, and this is where he. I think he's just. I think this is where he like. He's in like suspended animation or something, right? Garuda
Uh,
or sealed or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. Someone in the chat will let me know. But I wonder if this is the moment where it happens. But anyways, if everyone gets freed up. There's nothing you can do here. Leaves with thingy, and then the chapter kind of starts. So this is the conversation with Kubera and Anata. Not Anata. That's crazy. Yama, which I like a lot. Yeah, he was in a comatose like state. There we go. There we go. I know something like that. I couldn't remember what it was. Suspended animation. So they talk about the temple and remaking it, and when the temple gets remade, apparently it looks a lot different. What do you think? What do you think the significance of the temple being remade differently is? Do you think it's a time shenanigan, or did you guys just kind of gloss over that? I don't know. I thought it was probably very significant.
I was trying to remember if we've seen a place like this just in the present time at some point, whether it was like
Mm-hmm.
in the special chapter or not. That's what I was trying to rack my brain over,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember. And this is a chapter that I missed that I just read today.
Oh, okay.
Too. This is the chapter I stopped.
Fair enough. You held me back when I was on the way to find a primeval gods, but the only result of getting me involved in this plan is when you go up to the place where the primeval gods are, the passage of time changes and earthly events will be overlooked. Didn't you send so many souls to hell in order to not miss out on earthly events in the first place? I think we're starting to get more of Yama and Kubera's like intentions and personalities here. We already know right now they're acting in sake for the name of Anata, which is pretty cool. But
Mm-hmm.
is this the part where they talk about did they already talk about the Chandra part here? I can't remember. There's one part where they talk about Chandra this being like overly
Yeah, that
powerful.
was like a chapter or two ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So this is the one about Indra then. So without Indra, for Indra who submits to the primeval gods more than anyone else to go out with such confidence, that means one of the primeval gods are already backing them up. They're like pretty smart, which I like about these kind of talk situations too, where it's like he wouldn't be this bolsterous about all the things that he's doing if he literally didn't have the backing of someone that powerful. And I think there's all the truth to
Yeah.
that.
Did we know that before?
I would say that it's not a crazy. It's one of the things you hear it. It's not a crazy thought, but I
Yes.
wasn't
Is
thinking
that
that prior. If that makes sense.
because I remember specifically asking the question, why is Indra like the king of gods when he's not the strongest or like, but I guess it's because he has the most backing.
There could be a special reason or a character related one. But I'm with you. I'm lockstep with that. With what you're saying.
Mhm.
Oh man. Okay. We look for Kanaro, who's been struck by the spear at Yama. The reason I look for you in the first place is, and then that's when like it's only needs to look like to original state, and it's like no such thing. No, there was no such original thing like that, right? I think this is the part where Kroha and Thing are talking. I like this conversation. Yes, this is a good conversation. Kroha and Rana, right here, they're talking about the Temple of Time, the shedding of time, mistake husks. While Maruna, that's crazy. Raltara, sorry, and Ran are kind of following behind.
Uh,
These two just being like weird time interlopers is very intriguing to me in its own right, because what I wanted to know secretly is, I mean, know that like Rana heard his voice, but I want to know if Ran ends up actually interfering with so many things low key early in Rana's life that by the time they like properly officially meet in present time, she's already got like low key subconscious thoughts about him. Does that make sense?
I think
Yeah, I
exactly.
think
I think
I
that's
already
exactly
felt
what
like
it
that.
is.
I already felt like that when he saved her from the in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Cause didn't she say like the first thing she liked about him was his voice or something like that?
I believe
Yeah,
so. Yes.
So I was like, yeah, man already made big impact the moment he did that.
Mm-hmm.
nigga's a groomer. Let me chill out.
Oh,
Everyone has
that's
a
crazy.
different opinion about the exact carving in time. So yeah, they're just talking about
Ugh.
the Phoenix magic interesting and whatnot. But like, I just like Rana's like she's very. I think she's very smart for a child.
Oh, she's in.
No,
Yeah,
Like
she seems to be very cognizant of the situation, very aware, or at
yeah,
least to an extent.
yeah. This is really good. But let me see.
I guess that goes with the royal blood thing. That's why, where they're supposed to be super talented and like blessed by everything.
Mm-hmm. The gods promised
Because she
her.
was a genius. She was considered a genius mage in the current time, right?
I think so.
There's so many genes. There's so many genes as mages.
It's
Yeah. But
genius.
like
Genius is
she,
one of those words that's hard for me. It's lost its meaning over the course of my life.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just better. All that means to me right now is better than average.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like she was even so good that people used to like say like she would be the perfect bride to like even like Lut.
No. I'm not disagreeing with you saying, but it's just like, man, like you see Asha, and you see some other people. You're like, man, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, true.
Because is the other girl supposed to be a genius too? The one that used to be friends with Asha before Asha told her to hit the road.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Purple haired priestess.
The shedding of
oh,
time is
yeah.
Claude or Mirha.
No,
Sorry.
No,
he's
not
talking about
Claude.
the wind priestess. The
Something with an
Mirha.
singer,
M, right?
the singer,
Oh.
the pop star.
Yeah, Mirha. I was the chicken. I was the chicken.
Y-
Mirha. Yeah.
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 Wasn't she supposed to be a genius or something?
Yeah, all the priestesses are geniuses,
Yeah,
which I mean
man.
makes which it makes sense.
Yeah, it actually does. If to be a
That's why you gotta
priest.
call them something like the generation of miracles. That's gonna hit. you gotta, you gotta, you gotta say, or you gotta say he's a genius amongst prodigies. I don't know.
Yeah, give him.
The shedding of
Make
time is
it, yeah.
interesting. It's like a snake shedding its skin. The shedding of sins probably also a nod to the snake. Okay,
Ooh,
Kurgan.
symbolism.
See what you're doing there. Oh yeah, so this part I'm trying to remember. He's talking about lifespan is not included in the promise. So you might have that name and wealth and talent, die the next day. It's like that's crazy. What's the use of all that if your lifespan to I'd like to enjoy it. Actually, that's what the transcendentals are like. They play clever tricks, overriding even their share of sins, and those victims are always the ones who are weaker than them. The Nasticas who were fierce about Phoenix magic being cut off, as well for the gods who came forth to stop them, just like always. They merely led a selfish war with a plausible justification. I think this ties into what Indra says and to what, and then what says what's said in a couple of chapters later, where it's like so people are looking for a just cause or just reason or just some type of reason sometimes to do something. I'm like, these guys are actually crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of this temple, what do you think it was? I'm not gonna say nothing yet, but I'm gonna say that for later. Remind me if I forget though.
Okay.
But yeah.
I
So
was gonna say
yeah.
I do think it was interesting how like the curse for the royals played out, where like with the time thing,
Mm-hmm.
where it really just kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It emphasizes again that the gods really don't care about anything except like length of time and just existing, where they think it's funny and actually worse that these guys have a short life despite being so good within that short life. So it really kind of shows, I guess, how twisted they are
Mm-hmm.
and just how they like view things so drastically from humans.
And I think that also ties back into I think Currygom's done a good job of making beings of various lifespans look at things just differently. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a being who lives, 300 to 500 years looks at something different than one who's just a pure blood in comparison to a god or Nastica, who a lot of them basically you got to kill them. They want to kind of live forever. Like I do think that she shows all those contrasts really, really well.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm. So here's the scary part. What's the matter? Why do you start? Stop talking. I didn't understand anything you said. And he's it's like I could like tell. I think now we have a little more context, so we know for sure. But it looked like to me like he was literally transferring the sins from him onto Rao.
Yeah.
when he's saying I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's a hurt, and he's like, you need to become the owner of this temple, wait, of temple of time, that which the owner of the temple must take it on my steed for a moment. So, I think Nata's probably the original owner of the temple of time, if not Vishnu, but I don't think so. But I don't think the voice that Kroha heard were either of these two for some reason. I don't think it was Rao or Nata. That's what I'm trying to
Hmm.
figure out when it first happens. When Rana's there, I want to know who's talking. I don't think it's either of them. But all right,
Hmm.
let's get to the meat and potatoes, man.
Huh.
Well, if you don't think it's one of those two, who do you think it is?
I have no fucking idea. I my dumbass thinks it's Lee's, but I'm not
I
gonna
was, yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm
is
not gonna
it
go that far.
Lee's? Could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. It's not Lee's because I can't.
Yeah,
Depend. Wait, go back to the dialogue. What does it say again?
I'll go back. Oh, that's definitely the wrong thing. Wait, what chapter was that on? Was that 23? You think it was Lee? You think it's
Right.
Lee's too? Yeah, I think Lee.
Yeah.
I never expected Lee to become a time traveler type beat, but yeah. Let's see. Okay, so
I remember how the interaction with that thing went last time now.
oh, but when Crowhot told it to go away.
Yeah,
Oh, venerable time.
because it seemed slightly antagonistic,
Yeah, I don't know if
and it
she's. I
kind
don't
of
know if
reminded me of like an
she might be feeling a sense of resentment for being stuck there or having to fulfill this role. I don't know. I don't know if it's her will. I think it's her though. Who's the current owner of the temple? So he says, if there's anything I can do, I will help with anything to do. And Anatha says, become the owner of the temple. At the temple of time, that which must be received by the owner of the temple, please take it on in my stead for a moment. That's what he says, Vince.
Okay. Okay.
The temple's in pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's Lee because I don't think it could be Vishnu.
It's not impossible. And so I think.
Yeah, it's not. I said, cause I ain't seen that guy in a while.
Mm,
So I'm like, when is he come back in?
so they're talking about the carving being curious again. Was that before like this? And then he said that he set up. Anata says that he set up things that no one can approach here, and you'll be safe. And basically tells them you're not allowed to leave. You can't leave here. Right? I'll be back after I take care of some business. After that, I will look for a way back for you too. And after they talk about the Phoenix Magic incident starting to begin right now, and Rao has to stay here. And look at Anata's face here to me looks very telling. I hate this picture where he walks away like this. It's like I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back, bro. You about to die, bro. Also, Vishnu is Resurrection Temple. Oh, okay.
this reminds me of the ancient Greek story with Hercules and Atlas when Hercules needed to do the 12th labor
Mm-hmm.
and he had to get the fruit and he's like, oh, Alice has to pick it, so I'll hold the sky. And Alice was like, yeah, I'm not holding that shit.
Oh, so Vishnu is Resurrection Temple. Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, and that's similar. I got it.
Listen, that guy could be everywhere, man.
He literally.
Yeah,
But I hear what you're saying though. But that's why I said it's probably Lee's. I think we all kind of feel that way about now.
Yeah.
I think it might be a Nada still. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't rule that
I
out.
think I
Can't
might
rule
have
that out.
phrased it stupidly. The original owner is probably Anata. The current owner, I
Yeah,
think, is possibly one of
yeah, since they share a
the
name
Lee's
too.
bloodline.
So yeah, then
Oh
she
wait,
should.
The bloodline of Rao.
so with the current, would you say the current one was the one that was talking to Arana?
That's a okay
See that? Yeah, that's the problem. That's when it start getting dicey. I
Because
think the
because
that's the
old
one I'm
one.
saying.
because
That one
because
I'm saying was a Nada.
okay,
Yeah,
That
that's what I'm saying too. That's what I'm saying too. I agree with
yeah.
you.
If you're talking about like now, okay, then yeah, at least. But I think
okay.
the one I was talking to Ron is a
Because
Nada.
I think time changed. Cause when they first got to this part of the area, they dealt with a different Anata than the one they're dealing
Yeah,
with right now.
because a
So
Nada is shown having these kind of like lapses of like not knowing people yet, and with him even going through like different time zones and stuff like this and that, and do a specific Garuda or not Garuda. I'm sorry, Maruna,
Mhm.
and then another one didn't yet. So that's why I think that one with the weird confusion and annoyance thing
Mhm.
was some version or split soul of a Nada that was left to guard.
Okay. And what I also think is like, okay, tell me if this makes sense to you, right? Because of the way that time works right now, like I think you guys maybe think about something I never even considered. Like, okay, so at any given like at any given moment in time, if somebody travels to that kind of travels to a certain time period with the Temple of Time, I think the order could be different, depending on how Anata's moving at that current moment.
Yes.
Like, there's a part of me that's like maybe for like a brief period, if you had went there at a certain time, it could be Rao, and then maybe if Anata does actually come back because he's just temporarily, it's temporary, it could be someone else. But then if you think about what's gonna happen in the next chapter, because you know how much he's traveled back and forth all over the time. I think at any given point the temple owner could be different. I don't know. I think this ties into how you personally completely view time and the parallel universes within Kubera. I don't think it's
Mm.
up to super debate. I think she makes it like I think she has a plan and a right and a wrong answer. It's just not fully the picture's not fully clear yet. That's all. Fully drawn.
Yes.
That's all. I don't think she's gonna leave it to interpretation. Then you have me. I'm in hell. I'm in the mud. I'm reading, doing paperwork. He's like, he went further in hell to clear my to organize his thoughts. At the list in your hand you want to deal with. If it's for work, we'll do it planned to us. He's like, no, I'll take it. I'll take care of it myself. And he says that you'll become really busy soon. I heard that the Phoenix magic was cut off as a representative of Nasica started retaliating. A lot of humans are gonna die. And after he's like, no, even if Nasicus retaliate, they will aim for planets with no humans to give gods a direct blow. They'll try to avoid slaughtering humans as much as possible. Since the more souls they kill, the more vulnerable they'll become to the paradisal flare. Which is Agni's ability, right? Where he
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
weighs the sins of you like ooh. That's very interesting because it's like they have to actually fight with strategy and like they can't even go crazy and kill too many humans because like they'll literally just build up how much literal damage
The
they're
way,
gonna take
yeah.
from like if he could do that and there's a lot of damage if they accumulate too many sins it's like yo it's times 4 damage super effective type beat so I like that. I like that. The power scaling in this is interesting because it comes with certain conditions, stipulations, and sometimes it depends on where you are, who you are, and what you control. Or like if you're a planetary god, destroy the island, destroy the island, the planet. I'm gone. But if I'm a concept like fire, what you finna do? I'm, I'm not going nowhere.
Planetary gods.
Yeah,
Them planetary gods get no love. I feel so bad.
yeah.
He's
I'm
going
just
to
saying.
blow up their
I'd
planetary
hate to be
god.
one. Imagine you just chilling on your planet. You over there, and then just God and Harvard just like I'm bored. You fuck some shit up, your planet blow up, you dead. Ah, you hate to see it. Even the pinnacle can be toppled. Yeah, yeah, I like that. No one's invincible. All right, what did you say? The gods are gathering. Yes, the fifth and gods were already together due to a meeting. Everyone except Kubera and them. What about Agni? Agni wasn't at the meeting either. There's no way he's involved. Agni is already participating though. He went to the place Vatsuki is attacking. That idiot. I told him to never leave and if there was a danger of one dying to die together, but he didn't get the meaning when I gave him such a blatant hint. I don't remember this. Like, is this something that is this an event that we were already aware of? Because even when Yama first said this, I couldn't remember. I don't recall what he was talking about. I'm sure it's probably something I forgot. What's up, Zodiac? And Ashra lets other do the dirty work. Ashra just a menace, bro. He just wants to fight everybody.
The Agni timeline's always really weird because it seems like there's just these huge gaps in times where Agni's just not around.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't remember when he specifically goes to like get the paradisal flame. Because I remember that was a whole thing where he was there for like thousands. He was there for a long, long.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if that was relatively recently, like 5,000 years recently, or millions of years ago.
Mm.
So that was after the ancient humans died, right? You got that flame?
I want to say yes. There was one of the Brillis past there. So he said this is the Gressvan. The event at planet Gressvan is the most hinted at. It's Kubera Naya. Yes, it is. What's up, Rand? And there was one of the past Brillis there. So when he said die together, he meant die together with Brillis. Okay. Okay, so this part's pretty cool.
Oh, the planet that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, the one where Ganhavra came and they were. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Want to eat it together. I feel bad if I only eat it, and after it's like actually Maruna ate most of the meat and only brought a little bit for Rao. This part's kind of funny to me. Like, can we talk? What should we talk about today? Today we talked about the far tournament. So right, I should talk about my girlfriend, who I met as my first, who I met as an opponent. He's like, I don't want to hear that. Look at so this is the part where he's like, he's like, leaves his mom. Actually, the relationship between me and her is at the point where I can confidently call her my girlfriend. So we're not even like, not even
Yeah,
dating it. Yeah. So I don't think so. That's so interesting, because I wonder if I'm sure this happens, but I wonder if versions of Rao post this and post having Kubera already being born. I wonder if any of those versions were called upon Anata to at all do some shit, some timey wimey shit.
I think we have a question with this. Do you think that if Rao took Rand's place earlier on, he could have a similar impact on Maruna that Rand did?
So you mean like during the wait of time?
Yeah. If you place Rand with Rao, do you think he could still like kind of like tug on Maruna's heartstrings and like help him like somewhat grow?
Yeah, I just think it'd be different. The reason why I say that is because even though Rand's a quarter, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He still
Yeah.
got Sura blood in him, and I think that just gives them a different level of connection that he'll never have with a pure-blooded human. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So, and I think Rand's transformation a little bit, and him kind of like spooking Maruna with how he was surifying, probably played into his, because he probably just thinks humans are weak and blah blah blah, this and that and the third. I think he would have a similar effect, honestly, but I just think it would probably go further with Rand. But yeah,
Okay.
that's my best answer, because he literally just look like when he's hearing Ralph talk, he thinks of Rand's being talkative as fuck during the wait of
Yeah.
time. So it's not like he's having the same effect here. So I get it. But yeah, I guess I shouldn't hesitate for too long. Do you don't understand that feeling? Then you got Maruna single since birth. Your Twitter profile picture. Maruna's like, bro, I got no bitches. I'm maidenless. Leave me alone.
Nah, his face too killing me while you saying this. Maruna, it's like, bro, like, are you what? Like, am I supposed to go with this, bro?
Mm.
What's good
I
with you?
did. I don't. I did see a comment on the webtoon thing because there was that one person that usually does like the blog post. I can't remember if he said this was in a blog post where Currygom said it or it was like a translation thing where it's not supposed to be that he's never, what was it, been in love. It was more so that he's, or I think, fuck, I think the original translation was something like, just wait, what does it say? It was never falling in love versus never being in a relationship
Ah, okay.
because it was supposed to be referencing Sampati,
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
that he actually likes her, something like
He's
that.
liked someone before for sure. I
Yeah,
was I was gonna bring her up, but he's never dated anyone. He's technically been
yeah,
single. Yeah, that's an important distinction. I think that was intentional. He was equally as talkative as human Rand Sairafi. I listened to his private trivial stories. I became certain who his future daughter, who he didn't know about yet, was. They look alike, and the name Lee's. Besides, the story of the fighter tournament was from the year D995. It's about the same era, so it would be stranger if they were not father and daughter. He said he's a fighter from Willarv, and his journey started when he found himself in a situation, nearly died on his mission, and jumped into a portal he discovered. As I listened, it seemed that he went to the same place that I went through, and after so now he's thinking about how he has to go, what he has to do to go back. The conversation with Chess, um, going back to the true world, he's seeing I would say Jatayu or Yuta arouse unintentional roast. Yeah. Maria likes her, but never had any relationship, of course. They read a future where they don't die. So he's thinking about going back to the main timeline. He's got his reasons too, right? And damn it, what was I gonna say? Okay, this is the interesting topic that kind of came up in the latest video that I want to ask you guys about. Canonically, canonically, Rachel is ugly in Tower of God. I don't know if you know this, but Kubera Lee's is canonically supposed to be like an ugly girl, or at least not as
Yeah.
attractive as the other
Yep.
girls.
Yep.
Where Currygom draws her a certain way, as a like basically gives her like a self-inserted filter to look as good as the other
Oh no,
characters.
but I wonder though. Is that still true with her?
That's exactly what I was
growing up?
gonna
No,
say because
no, because
wait,
they
wait, wait,
specific. I
wait, wait,
remember.
wait.
Oh, go on.
I remember when Yuta says that whatever makeup was on her face, it fixed the only flaw with that she had, according to him,
Mm.
which must have meant her physical beauty. So I know she like wears makeup now, and I think the years she spent in the Soul Realm and grew up, she has naturally glowed up and got like a lot prettier and better looking. I think the combination of her growing up, being older, plus using makeup, I'm not gonna say she's drop dead gorgeous. I just don't think she's canonically ugly anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree. I really don't. Yes, I really don't think she's ugly anymore. I thought, yeah, kind of like her adult teenage
Mm-hmm.
form.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, adult. Her child
Mm-hmm.
teenage form was, but then yeah, when she got to adult, I felt like that wasn't the case anymore.
And
I
they even
oh
mentioned that
god,
Rao looks like Lee's a lot. Now this is obviously could just be like the like obviously the parental thing, like the green hair and stuff like that. Some parents you could tell like, oh yeah, that's your dad, even though you don't look like a man if you're a girl, or like, oh yeah, you like I look like my mom. Like if you see my mom, you'll know it's my mother. You can't not see it. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't necessarily mean that you think both of us are attractive looking. So it could just be one of those things where he's like, no, they look similar because of like maybe the nose and the hair. But Rao's supposed to be handsome, correct? Would that
yeah.
not make Lee's pretty then? I'm just saying.
See,
Uh,
genetics are a funny thing, my friend.
well,
Because
Yes, they
two
are.
ugly people can make a very beautiful baby, and two
Yeah.
good-looking people can make an ugly one. So it don't make
negative
no
make a
sense. And I
positive.
don't think her. I don't think her mom is um bad looking either. They
Mm-hmm.
just don't work
Mm-hmm.
all
Well,
the time. So
I was gonna say, well, remember when she got the
Hariyama. Wait,
Hariyama and she was older, people were calling her very pretty during that time.
you think it was her body though? Look at the
I
Yiddies.
I
mean,
th- I think it was.
it could be, but I think her face definitely got better
Okay,
though.
okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's not the most top tier of everybody, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I think she just had to grow into it. I think that was all it was. Because from what I remember, I think Rand called her very pretty, and everybody that saw her was like, "Oh, yeah." The only one that didn't was Gunhover, but Gunhover had his whole thing about like it's never about like being a
He
pretty
cares
face.
about
That's not what
character
matters.
to separate her. A
Yeah,
beautiful face and body is a dime a dozen.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as of right now, I think she's probably top 10.
Okay.
I think she's up there for sure as an adult. Yeah,
I gotta look at it.
I
I don't
gotta.
know. There's so
We
many.
gotta.
you a
There's
hate.
so many.
We'll have a stream. We'll do it. We'll
Yeah,
go
You
I'm
through it.
saying there's a lot. There's a lot.
We'll
I,
nah,
talk about it. But
y'all
I'm
haters.
not mad at that. It just I gotta
no,
think.
no,
I
no,
gotta. I
no, no.
gotta.
I'm
I
not
gotta.
mad
I
at it,
gotta
but
stack
there's
her
so
up.
many
I gotta stack
women.
her
There's
up.
so many
Wait,
women.
let me guess. Y'all think Asha looks better than her?
I didn't say that. That wasn't me. Now all I'm saying
Nobody,
is
nobody said all that.
everyone's got a niche.
Oh,
Plus,
okay. Here
plus,
we go.
plus, Ash, like Asher. First of
Here
all, we
we
don't even
go.
know. We don't even know what Ash look like right now,
All
and
right.
she's kind of androgynous
Hold on.
at
You
this
don't
point.
know. What if she read some shit on that in them papers? No.
That's what I said. I'm trying to tell you, son. We don't even know what you look like right now.
You think you're gonna hire the most ninjas? Top 5 for you? Okay, I just know Brilith's number 1 for me. That's all. Brilith, and
Yeah,
Lila.
I'm with you.
Brilith and
I'm
Lila
with you on
top
that
one,
Yeah,
2
one.
I'm
for
I'm
me.
a I'm a I'm a
I'm
Lila
a
guy
Lila
now.
merchant. That's the best looking Kubera. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll give you guys
Yeah,
that
I
one.
don't know what y'all want me to do, man. She popped up
She
looking like
took
how
that
she was looking.
ridiculous mask off, and I said, I'm tweaking.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I said, "Why are you wearing this? What the fuck is this, man?" Oh, man.
But yeah, Lee's not ugly though. Sagara,
No, it's
Lee's.
not
All
ugly.
right, yeah, I see that. Lila, Brilith. I'm a Lila
Yeah, I
merchant
probably
as
like
well.
Sagara more than most people too. Knowing me.
Even her toxic masculinity form.
She not bad. I'm not a pigtails guy though, so
Boo. I'm joking.
I like it when she had the straight hair out.
She
Okay.
got blue hair though. That's what matters more.
I forgot you are a blue hair guy, aren't you?
That's right. That's how we do it.
That's how we
But I'm
get
not
it.
gonna lie. I got a thing for my second's probably a Aryavata. To be honest.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad.
Hey, I'm not. Hey, you might be.
Okay. Okay, I don't
Yeah,
know if anyone can see the goofy mask. Nah, the mask makes it rawer because she's
because
so.
I don't know what it is, but it's just Aryavata's like kind of like aura, and when she was smiling and stuff like that, I'm like, what am I supposed to
Mhm.
like? The one that's with our boy, not the new one.
Mm.
I got you. Okay.
The new one, cool too. She got that fucking that cool mysterious beauty look. But the old one, when she was smiling, I was like, hey, yo, mom, right there, boy.
I feel it. So this is the part where I like this part too. This is funny. This is like I like that like anything. I know I say this a lot, but I like any series that's good at balancing humor and tone. It's just I think I don't because I just don't think that's easy to do. But when he's like,
It's
I'm
not,
feeling unwell, you just keep bringing meat. Like I need vegetables and fruits. And Maria's like, look at him sneakily placing an order. Since I gave him some of the meat at Hunt, did he thinks he could ask you for anything, and I'll bring it. And, and he went and he negotiated. He bartered with some meat. I said, bro, don't complain if you about to do it. I can't stand people who do that shit. Just do it or don't. But I felt that in my heart. I did. So apparently, this part where he's picking up a lot of the people's different opinions and talking about the Phoenix Magic incident, he's only he's not literally walking around so he can hear them speak. He's trying to find a place where he can fly discreetly, even though he has Rat Reed's hood or whatever, or cloak or whatever. If he certifies or shows his wings, it'll be problematic. So you're just actually looking for a place where he can fly away discreetly.
Hmm.
It was in the translator notes or like the blog post notes at the end. Because I was
Gotcha.
wondering if he was. I'm like, oh, because I thought he was originally just collecting information. But look at this guy. And yeah, so it looks like Anata is being heralded as the one that is a demon who's messing things up. And here you see him fly off. He's talking about the hostility growing. He goes here. This is where you see the sin starting to consume Rao. Don't come any closer. It's dangerous. And all right, man. I don't know what's going on. It could be wiser to not touch, but I will calculate that later. Now, let me bring up my tweet. Because I gotta put this away for a second. Uh, did you guys like that moment? Because it's like a culmination of of him being overly calculated, what Kubera told him, and him literally coming full circle on that little lesson.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I always enjoy little stuff like that.
Yeah, and
So
this wasn't too far back. Like I could recall like all the little moving pieces of this one. I'm like, look at me, not being trash for once. Okay,
I might have missed that, to be honest. I'm not gonna hold you. I might be a fraud.
all right. Now I'm gonna pull it up. So look at my Twitter right here.
Uh,
Right, my son, you've come so far, right? So here's a panel of him talking about although you were heartbroken by the death of the human, considering the weight of time and whatnot, you
oh, so
stood
good.
by, not even trying to save them. Like you started to feel enough that you felt bad that they were dying, but not enough to really put yourself in jeopardy or whatever. Then later on with the Jayuta or the Jatayu or Yuta stuff, when he couldn't see him and he's overthinking, Kubera told him, "You are being calculative again." And when he just acts on his raw emotion, even though it's not necessarily rational or logical, that's when he can see Yuta. So here he says, "I will calculate that touching this later. I can't look the other way when someone is struggling right in front of me. Look at my son.
yeah, I'm a fraud for
Look
Yeah,
not
at my
man.
connecting those
look
two
at my
points. I'm a
boy. Look at
fraud.
my chicken. Look at my boy. He's come
We never
so far.
we never seen anything like that.
You had never
This is one of
seen.
them.
You would never
The
see.
real, the real villain to hero.
Ah, man. We're gonna talk about this incredible character arc. Like father, like daughter. Sampati's pretty too. Ho isn't pretty in Kubera. Greatest of our chicken. Yes. Rana. Yeah, Rana's pretty too. I like Rana. Rana's pretty. So yeah. So here, I didn't notice this originally, but this is where Katan pointed it out. He's like hanging there around, and he says, "You look kind of different." I thought he just meant in the sense that maybe he didn't see him angry. Totally misled me. Look at his hair. This is fifth form, fifth stage. This is how he looks when he's in the fifth stage. He's like somehow partially transformed into. Let me pull it down, man. I think you can see now. You can move Asha, but yeah, you can see it here.
I'll be damned.
Yeah,
I did not know.
Katan pointed that out to me today. I did not notice that. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm about to start reading these chapters in slow motion. I'm about to
I was gonna say I can't
I'm about
have
to
two
start looking
fraud
at every
moments.
nook and cranny. I promise. This will never happen to
Nah,
me
bro,
again.
it just so much like honestly, like there's so much information poured into you. Like we really gonna have to go through this again. I
Yeah.
told you I really do want to do that thing though, where we,
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah. We
break
go
down
through all the
every
yeah,
pretty
for
much
sure. We gotta do that. We gotta do
yeah,
it. Every
we gotta
arc.
do that.
We
That
gotta
way
do
we can just go back and look at it too, just in
it.
case
Yeah.
we forget. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go
Yes.
watch that or
Mm-hmm. You look kind of different. What nonsense are you talking about? Is this the right human body? And this is where it starts to look like the space. I was thinking here it looks kind of like the space that they were in before the wait of time. And I actually like commented that just a second before from the blog. The reason Marino walked around the city wasn't because he wanted to hear the talk of the town, but spreading his wings in the middle of the city would stand out too much. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, there's probably no one who will stay single for longer than Maruna, eh? Why you being mean to him, Currygom? We've all been there, all right? Love is hard, bro. Romance is
listen.
hard.
He wasn't
As
even
a,
thinking about the love. He was hustling.
he out here trying to get to the bread.
Yeah, let my guy go.
Is he the oldest Raksha now?
You know, I
No,
would
it's still Chess. It's still Chess, right?
Is it?
no, but here's the
Yeah,
thing:
Chess is the
does his
oldest.
accumulative time within the wait of time on the other side?
Oh,
If
okay,
you
yeah,
add
yeah, okay.
all of this together now, if it actually like factors into his whole lifespan, would he not be amongst the oldest now?
Yeah, I think Chess would still be older. I want.
Would he? Because
No, even then. Wait, no, it depends. Was Chess around with the ancient humans?
he was very 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 young because he was there when Brilith and them made the city, but he was a kid.
Chess still might be older, but
Chess
he's at
is
least second.
older, he said, because he's literally born at the beginning of the universe. Okay,
Okay, then
But,
yeah.
but
Okay,
remember,
then he's second.
remember.
but a cumulative
But
time is what I'm basically talking about, though.
that's what I'm saying. Because he was there when like the ancient humans first came about. He lived there for millions of years,
Mm,
didn't he? He was there for a long time before his second time jump.
I can't. Yeah, because he was waiting for Rand to just like pop up at some
Yeah, he
point.
was there for a
He
long,
really
long
was,
time.
but I guess we'd have to know the literal numbers of years Chess is in total on days,
Yeah,
minutes, seconds, seconds to Maruna's like lifespan up until getting set back, and then what added on to that. But then again, I'm
I
like,
got
if he comes
Maruna.
to present time, does he? I don't know. I guess
I got Maruna.
there's some variables, but I got you though. I think it go either way. Maruna has more accumulated more experience for sure. Okay, you got more XP though. So yeah, this is where he says the space where that white space again. No, the ground is still the same where I was before. I could see exit too. If I want to get out, I can go over there. But then Rouse said he wasn't supposed to leave the temple. He tried to wake him up, and he looks at the record, and I think this is where things start to get very, very, very goddamn interesting. He says a black paper. So at first I thought it was blank, and then he's like, no, 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 no. It looks black because there is too much writing,
That
which
was
means
insane to me.
Anata has done so much shit over and over and over and tried and remixed, tried some shit, didn't work, tried it this way, didn't work, maybe thought it worked this time. He's done it so many times that events are just being written on top of it over and overwriting the previous events over and over and over to the point the paper looks black. What the fuck? That's crazy.
Crazy as fuck. And especially when we see all the papers and like
Yeah,
when I
somebody
saw
was
that, I was
somebody
like,
was
"That's
going mad. Somebody was going mad loud on the paper, bro. Got arthritis right now.
That's like he's gotta have tried trillions of times, in my opinion. He's gotta
yes."
be in the trillions. That's how many times I think he's tried to do whatever it is he's trying to do. He's
Like, bro, it's pitch black.
it's not a sheet of paper. This is a fucking scroll. Like it's what? do, do you not see how much that shit
Bro,
swirled?
bro, bro, bro. Better question. How'd they even write on that with that floating? How do you even do that? Like you don't even
I
got
don't
a
think
solid
someone is. I
surgeon.
don't know if someone is literally writing. I think events are just automatically recorded. But then let's say Anata's trying to save a bus of kids from drowning. He fucked up the first time. And he goes back. The event will say the kids drowned in the bus. Anata goes back. He saves the bus. Anata saved the bus from going into the water. But let's say for some reason he does that and it messes up a later event, and maybe now he's like he just saves the kids from the bus and lets the bus go in the water. Each time the previous event is being rewritten over again. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
So he's just doing it over and over and over and over and over and over until now there's nowhere to
Yeah,
you
and
can't even read the paper because there's too many events on there.
Which
yeah, and he
makes
just like he
sense.
can't get to the perfected ending because something always changing something else.
Yeah.
So it's like he can't ever get where he wants to go at
Mm.
the end
And
of the day.
I think this was one of those moments where like I wasn't really thinking about it, but it makes sense that his sins, because they're personal to him,
Mm.
would transcend the timelines. It's not per timeline.
Mm.
It's the totality of them all,
Mm.
which is scary.
And if you look about I didn't think to do this, but shout out to the chat. I can see a couple of words here. I think I see destruction, save someone. I see
You
revenge,
cap it. You cap
want
it.
to stop. No, I'm kidding. I'm not joking. Go to the chapter. Go to the panel. Well, I'll just send it to you in Discord. You can go to the page that I'm on, and you'll see. There's just a couple of words you can make out. I'm not saying it's like a coherent sentence. It's just a couple of words you can make up. I'll send it to you on Discord.
All right.
You can see some writing if you focus too much. There are some cries for help. It creates an alternate universe that disappears. It's so heavy. There's the sum of all the disappeared universes that happen are as a consequence. Yep. Like I see, I see save. I see destruction or resurrection. Maybe that's what it says. I see revenge. Want to stop. That's all I can make out. I can't make out anything else.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So very interesting.
Damn.
Yeah. It's written over already existing writing so overlapped I can't recognize everything. Furthermore, it's getting darker. Okay. So this is where we jump back into the god the Suros and everything. And here's Anata literally being blamed for this with this fucking menace Ashura there. Like, you attacked the 9 planets, and Sagar's like, bro, there's no evidence. What are you talking about? And he's like, yo, you're the only one who thinks that. We have already done it, and he won't deny it himself. And he's like, well, he doesn't actually stick up for himself. And then they talk about how big his Suraform is. And I think if I remember correctly, this is interesting because his Suraform is supposed to be like bigger or as big as the universe, something crazy like that. And I don't remember if it was the last sentence or somewhere it says that like even if he could surify at light speed, because of light years and how big the universe would be, it would still take him an enormous amount of time to actually transform into his Suraform. But because he's a time being, there's probably a way for him to surify like immediately, which is interesting to think about.
Oh.
So yeah.
You making sense. You making sense.
Yes, I agree. I'm late again because I'm watching Ace of Diamond. Hey, you're not mad at that. I know Ace is lit. They are riding on a Sura body of Ravana, by the way. Oh shoot! I think is Ravana the one they said that could take the hits? I gotta remember. One of them apparently could like.
Yeah,
take multiple
Ravana's like the
hits.
immortal one, the one that it's like one of the few immortal ones.
Okay. And
That's
after I had the
the B
paperwork in
bitch.
like a hard drive. Yep. Is it really
Oh,
saying? By the way, but Ashura saying that he can't remember is not a good argument. It's true though. By the way, go ahead.
I was gonna say if any of the
I,
Nasticas or Asticas saw those papers, what do you think their reactions would be? Because I think a lot of the Nasticas would have to be on their knees, like sweating and apologizing.
man, I don't believe that because they always think the same thing, no matter what they see. Oh, we see this event. All right, gotta kill him. Like that's
Well,
all they think. That's all they think all the time. They
well
think
remember,
so.
a lot of the Nasticas think that what's his name doesn't do anything. That's a lot of people's beef with the Nata. Like, you don't do anything. But if they saw this,
You're a
like,
bystander.
yeah, but if they saw this visible proof,
Man, can they read? like they may not even understand even if they looked at it.
Well,
Like, what does this mean?
Maruna can understand it now, so I'm gonna assume that a lot of them can. But it's like, how does he prove that it's him doing it? They could be like,
Right,
I don't know
yeah.
where the
Or
fuck did this girl come from. This cannot be you. I don't know. I could find them.
cause they like
They'll
some
find.
of them you can
They will
kind
press
of
X
tell.
to doubt.
Right, yeah, because some of them can kind of tell. Like, yeah, obviously Maruna was a lot smarter. Like Sakura is obviously a lot smarter than the natural, but I don't know. Some of them they might just look at me like, "What this mean?"
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't care what this means. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. They would blame Nana for sure.
Uh,
Usher as a chaos merchant. Yes, look at him. He's talking about our justification is complete. You don't care what the truth is. He just want to cause some fucking mayhem. He's
Ugh,
becoming
bro,
one of
he
my
just look
favorite
like,
characters purely based off
bro. I don't even like. I
violence.
look at him. I don't even know why they entertain him. I like. I feel like if he show up, like, all right, it's time to go. I was like, oh, Oscar right here? No, we're not talking. Oscar will be like, hey, I got something. I'll be like, nope, nope, nope. Like whatever you got to say, we'll talk next time. I gotta go use the restroom or something. Like nah, because he always bringing BS to the table, bro. Like what's good with you?
that's why Yaksha used to beat his ass.
He actually like, man, what the fuck wrong with you, nigga? Yeet to another planet. He just yeeted that man. That was so cold. Usher's funny. I wish Yaksha was there to
Yeah,
step it
shout
up.
out to Yashka, man. That's my guy.
So you can count on your hands the amount of times your full Sura formed since the beginning of the universe. I bet you don't have any memories about moving about freely. Is this a great opportunity for you to wind up once? And he talks about, oh, I have memories of that in my imagination or some shit in my delusions. And after Sagara's like, why are you joking like this? And he's like, you think it's weird, but look at his face. What is the significance of his hair color doing that? Why did that happen?
I
This is
don't know.
easily the one scene. Like I don't know why. Like is that why does hair do that? But that's some Kubera shit.
It
That's
could be
yeah.
something. It could be nothing. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He has certified more times. He remembers. Okay, yeah. This was the scene that threw me for a big loop. But anyway, in the end,
Like
this
I'm
universe
like,
too.
did he gain some of his power? Does he like is this the part where like Kubera is starting to lose parts of his name and he like has a piece of it with him or something? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I know it's significant though. Like, I know this is incorrect. This panel, I don't understand it, but I know it's important. So, Earth attribute, golden scales of Anata. Okay, I guess he's Earth. Did I know that? Anyways, so we get back here. So not only is the record getting darker, it's tearing apart. It keeps flying over this way. I have to block it. I don't know how much, but this is tormenting Rao. And he's like, sorry, I dozed off. Don't block it. It's what I have to receive. And he's talking about Nato's his friend. And we were like, bro, just because he said he'll do Earth and Sky, and that's what I'm saying. I thought he was partially Sky because I thought I missed. I didn't want to comment. I thought I missed something because I'm like, I thought Anata was Sky because like Indra and Garuda, they were the only ones who could have done whatever they did to those 11 planets for a second. But I guess he's Earth. He's a hybrid. I guess. Okay.
He has three. I thought they all have three.
Shit, man, that's my fault then.
Yeah, I think he's Sky, Earth, and I could have sworn I'm pretty sure Nastikas have three. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Something about the Nastikas, the more effed up they seem to be, the longer they live. Do I agree with that? There's probably some truth to that. But a lot of them are like, I mean, Ganhavra was screwed from the. I guess the outliers would kind of be Maruna and Ganhavra, who are changing with time. Even though Ganhavra still sucks, he's taking too long. But anyway, so he has to receive it. And he was told not to leave the temple. So as he's receiving it, he actually sees a passage to what could possibly be his own time. And what's interesting is I think at the end here. Sorry, does it say that he's reading his facial expressions? Yes, I think so. Yes, down here. By the way, shout out to the blog post like being more extensive down here like this. I like that. They kind of went more into detail here instead of like the one little paragraph. I don't mind. But so that's why they said Ravana's cameo was a footstool because they're all riding Ravana. I didn't get that joke the first time. I got okay. Now I'm caught up. I'm caught up. What Nastica tribe would like to be? None of them. But if you ask me to pick one, I probably want to be the Vitra clan. They just seem to be like doing their own thing. Be a dragon. Fuck off. Leave me alone. I'm not a part of the politics, but you know it comes with its own set of pros and cons. But I'm a Vitra clan merchant. I like the dragons. That's just
The
me.
extra clan all the way.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I like Yashka clan, but also I'm a Canary clan.
I like
Okay.
wolves, so
There were people who joked that Nat is so big that even if you certify the speed of light, it would take a long time. You have to worry about that since she has the time ability. Conversely, some of these other Natsicas are not free of this problem. So some of them are so big it could take a long time. There we go. In this episode, Ra was responding based on Maruna's facial expression and gesture. Since he can read expressions kill carefully, why didn't he notice Maruna single since birth expression as the same? Was suffering from listening to his love stories in the last episode. Maybe it's not that he didn't notice. I don't think he didn't notice that Maruna didn't care about his stories. But Maruna didn't act maliciously against him, even though he was hearing them. So at this part here, he's actually able to know that Maruna is looking at a passage of time that's related to him solely based off his facial expression. I think that's actually a very deep level of insight to have without being able to understand the language or literally have insight. It's a very good guess.
Yeah. Very insightful.
Yeah. Dragons lose feeling though. Yeah, I don't want emotions. It's just trash. I'm trying to be a dragon.
You want to
I'm trying to be a calculating robot, logic and reason, pragmatism, nothing else. Feelings?
Yeah.
This is not the series to be all emotional.
No,
because nobody cares.
But yeah. Yo, what's going on, Kaku? Bonjour.
See, me, if I was in this story, I'd probably bring in a very delinquent style approach story, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely pulling the I can't live knowing people thinking they can fuck with me type approach to this story.
I'm on my yacht
That's
again.
out, right?
Yeah. I'm bringing that fucking approach to this story, bro. Because I feel like that's the only way you gonna get around. Like, man, listen, you can't trust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like if I get, I got to fall out, man.
But yeah, I find Rao's ability to read him very interesting.
Nah, Asura just run around causing problems. I'm not causing no problem. But if you cause me a problem, the problem being caused right back.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Zodiac. I'm also using silent magic, 100%.
Oh, 100%. 100%. No question.
I'm not a good person. Okay.
I'm not good enough to avoid not using it.
Basically, okay. All right, fair enough. Maybe I like that answer better.
Yeah, I still think I'd relatively be okay, but like we in a world where I don't feel like you could just be like, oh, I'm gonna just
No, I'm not Ashura. He's looking for trouble. He's a menace. I'm not looking for trouble, but if it comes around this way, you might get clapped. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's a fact.
I'm trying to be left alone. I'm trying to chill. All right, I'm trying to do.
Because Asura was running up on people to fight and stuff like that. I'm not doing all that. He was doing way too much.
Oh god, he's so funny. He just chooses violence. No
in fact, I'd argue I'd probably be closer to early Maruna, where he's like, he's just doing shit for the sake of the mission and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like he didn't feel one way or another about doing what he had to do.
Yep.
Didn't mean nothing.
So we're gonna be Cali servants. I don't know if I'm following Cali, but if it makes sense.
Nah.
I'm not chaos though.
You see what Cali does to her people? All her people are ugly, and then they do what she turned them into giant monsters and freaks. Nah, I'm not trying to do any of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to be pretty. So yeah, you come from this time to her when her passage closes, and he's like, "You have to come with me. You worry about me again. You are a kind-hearted Sura." What a kind-hearted Sura you are. You know why? Do you know why I love that line so much?
It makes it sound like the outlier.
There's that. That's not a bad guess, but I know like thing comes later on in this chapter, but think about the contrast of Rao's initial meeting with Maruna in comparison to somebody's village who got blown up by this guy in the very first motherfucking episode type beat.
That's true.
I think that's such an interesting contrast. Because as far as we knew up until this point, all Leeds wants is this nigga's head on a platter. Okay? For what happened to the village and among some other things. And Rao's like, what a nice Sura you are. You're kind-hearted. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. I love it.
Now it begs the question what Savini what Maruna did.
Say that again?
I said now it begs the question what would he do if he knew what Maruna did?
And how it affected his daughter. No. Nah, it bruised my heart too. Trust me. Maruna, man. We're gonna talk about his character arc, I promise. But it's just he's come such a long way. He's the greatest. I love him. Okay, he's like I think he's like top three now for me. Anata will come. He won't leave me like this. I trust him. He's my friend. I'm sure he'll come. I did not think he would do this. I actually thought he was gonna take him and just fly into the portal,
Yeah, I thought so too.
right? And I was like,
Hmm.
oh mon dieu, he threw him into the portal. He stayed. I was like, nah, you can't handle the sins. You want the sins? You can't handle the sins, okay? You can't handle them. You're not ready. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's gotta happen now. The only way he could probably survive it is fifth stage? I don't know, right? That's what I'm thinking. Straight up, he starts thinking back, let him erupt. One of these two options. If I'm in golf with them, there's no hope. Could it be me? He's like, no, nigga, it's not you. Stop it. And he like blows up here. I think his face like explodes. I can't really tell what's happened, but it looks like his head is gone. I did not calculate my action, just like you said, and this is the result. Don't you think what you taught me was nonsense, Kubera? And after she's like, "Do you regret your choice?" And there she is, bro.
It kind of reminds me of what when Callie was talking to Lee's, and she was talking about like, oh, well, if you do this, this, and this, then this is gonna happen. But if you do this, this, and this, like, you already lost, but you get to keep things a certain way like this way. Kind of reminds me of that situation a little bit.
Yep. Oh, these endings with Lee's popping. Hold on, I gotta move Asher for a second. With the Lee's
So
popping up. Go ahead.
what do you think those things surrounding her are?
I think it's just the particle effect of her popping in, but it
Okay,
does look similar to like what the God of Earth kind of has around him sometimes when his hair color is changing. I don't know if I'm just over analyzing that, but
that's why I thought it was a Nata,
okay. Oh,
and
because
that's
because
why
because of how he
I
changed in
thought the
this
new
chapter.
change.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's the
that's why I
it's
thought it
the
was a
outfit.
Nata.
The outfit is how I knew it was Lee's because of the way that the damn it, what do we call it? What's it called again? The cloak of the
Cloak of bondage.
yeah that Lutz had and everything, right? So I was like, it looks like this is how she looks when she's draped around in her cloak. He has like his chest out and his arms are a little hairy, and he has the little like scarf thing around his arms. So, but yeah, this is insane. Katan, go ahead and tell the people your theory in the chat so we can talk about it. I want you to get full credit, so I want you to type it out first before I say anything.
Uh,
But I think this chapter was awesome. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, we
yeah,
gotta talk about it. Like, can you guys just think about like really try to quantify how many times Anata must have tried to do so many things for that paper to be for that
it's
scroll to be.
incalculable.
That's what I'm saying. It's immeasurable number. Doesn't exist. Quintin
Like
infin in Chilean. I don't know how many zeros that is, but
now, now with this, and you even saying the thing where this probably isn't the end game route. Now I'm far more confident now that I think this is the point where Anata realized Rao can partially hold it. I can partially hold the sins. And that's why they did make Lee's, where it's like, we're going to give this girl all our names
mm-hmm.
to empower her enough to hold the sins. Now I'm curious as to where the Kubera part comes in, because Kubera obviously wants to do it to help Anata, because he says everything's for Anata.
For the sake
But
of
then it's
Anata,
like,
yeah.
but it's like, how do we know? How would you know that your name would provide any benefit in aiding this cause? Because
Well,
Because at least name we at least know.
I think we have to go back kind of to the like where the part where he's having the conversation with Yama, and I think it
Mm-hmm.
starts there, and then yeah, how it leads is still unfolding. So I guess we'll find out probably the next, I'm guessing 10 to 15 chapters
Mm-hmm.
how the rest of that's gonna play out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, okay, repeat what you just said, Miles.
I was saying that like I think Anata and Ralph. I don't want to say like Ralph, but like they helped like create leads for the sake of like holding the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
They realized Ralph can do it, Anata can do it, so at least their names with names having power can hold the thing. And
Ah.
Kubera's there, but that's why the Kubera piece is interesting because, as Ren said, he talked with Yama about doing anything for an added, so it makes sense why he would add his name or being the piece while Anata and Rao are gone to be the advisor to make sure this plan is actively going through.
Mm-hmm.
But then it begs the question, I guess, why would he add his name into the mix of the creation of this girl? Because I don't think his specific name, because he could do all this without weakening himself with the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what benefit would him giving his name to Anata Kubera Lee's bring, unless him giving her name allows him to always keep track of her and something of that nature, so he could be the advisor to like
So
make sure
basically, what
she
you're
does what
saying,
she
as
needs.
far as the name goes, the variable that's throwing you off is Kubera's name. Like, why did he give it? Why?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. I'm with you. Because that's a good question. But hold on to that thought. So his theory, so Kana's theory is that Rao was bait laid by Anata to bring out time Lees. Anata was hoping for a chance to come to change the events, and Lees is the vessel who can hold the sins, not Rao. So I'll bring this up again because here's what I was thinking, right? Are Anata's attributes only earth and lightning? From what I remember, lightning it's like earth and sky, right? Earth and lightning, I think. I don't think it's. He said there's three for some of them. I don't remember if she had a third one. But here's what I'm thinking. I think your theory makes a lot of sense. I like that. It's like, did Anata say you can't handle the sins, knowing that maybe by this point in time, because of what Kubera taught him about not being too calculative, he would have tried to take it on, right? I don't know. But here's only my only pushback is this. There's a part of me that truly believes that Anata meant what he said when he's like, Rao, you cannot leave this temple. We can't leave this cave or area that we're in. And Maruna active and impulsively and throwing him back out into time, I think is eventually how he gets to maybe live the life to start his family before maybe getting called back by Anata for something else. But I guess your question is, do you think that Rao not being there is a good thing or a bad thing ultimately? I think that's the question you have to ask yourself, because that's the thing that's what I'm wrestling with.
Oh yeah, my second thought. This is my second thought. I think Anata. Yeah, I think I have very positive opinions of Anata. I don't think he would do anything really like underhanded or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely think he is coming back. I think the sins to him affected him mentally and physically so much that I think he needed to let the weight of the sins be gone for some time period so he could actively make a proper plan to like accurately deal with them.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. All right. I'm not mad at that. Another theory is that when God Kubera killed Anata with a spear, he became a being with two names, just like Kinara, and the name of Kubera got shattered. To sustain himself, the name was given to Lees. I guess.
That makes a lot of sense. I
That
guess.
actually is a good
But I
connecting
guess,
point there.
I guess my question at this point is, what's the connection between Rao and Kubera? Why did he give it? I mean, we knew he gave his name to a lot of
Well,
people. So
well, this
it
could be
was.
the thing, right? The three of them don't necessarily have to be working together for this to happen, right? The only
I
connecting
know,
piece
but
for
still,
Rao,
but even then, though, why did he decide to give it to?
because he
Well,
would know that, because with his connection with
who
it,
named Lees Kubera? Was it the mom or him? Do we know that? Do we
uh,
know?
I would assume I think you have to get the permission of the god. I could be wrong.
I know.
That's what I'm. That's why I
Well,
got. That's why I
can't you
got
So it's both.
questions. Like,
I could have a kid in his name of Kubera, but isn't it considered blasphemous or something like that? Because there's a bunch of halves and people running around with the name Kubera. She wasn't the only
Yeah.
one. There was the halves that Asher killed.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
There's
saying. She
Lila.
was
She's
the
still
only
alive.
one.
Lila's name is Kubera.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, Vince, what I was saying with that was, so Kubera wants to do this with the Nata, and as Keaton said, if he did get the two names, and his whole thing is his goal is similar with the Nata, which is getting rid of these sins, right? This would actually make sense that Raul wasn't a part of what happened to Lee's, because there was no way with his personality being similar to Lee's that he would let his daughter take on this weight. So I think Kubera did this without Rao knowing that when his death
Well,
came, he
that's what I'm
then
guessing.
passed
That's
on the names to
oh yeah,
Lee's
you go.
for Lee's to then become the perfect vessel to hold said sins.
See, but that's why I'm connecting it kind of to what Nye said. Do we know who named it? Because I can see it where Rao wanted to name Lee's or gave Lee's part of the name of Anata, but then Kubera talked to the mom or something like that, and she gave her the name Kubera or
It
something
could
like
be
that.
it could be that Anata, when he lets Rao go, he tells him he should name his daughter Kubera. Because I could see that Anata and Kubera hid what their true plans with the sins were from Rao.
Rao was that connecting he's a catalyst for them to get what they need to get done. Unfortunately,
Yes.
he's more of the vessel to be used than to, he had long
Mm.
story, he's not the chosen one, but he's the link to it, the chosen one.
Yeah. And since he was kind of like an almost semi-perfect vessel, it's like, well, we can now empower the person with his power and his name by giving us our own.
Mm-hmm. The one
Or it could be the case that Kubera tried to get the Rao, but by the time he figured out where Rao was, he was already dead. So he just went for the next best thing, or he couldn't find him or something like that. Because he ended up on Ash's planet during a very
Yeah,
critical time.
that's why I think Anata let him go, because he realized this isn't going to work. So that's why he let him go back and have his daughter, and basically they put the new plan on the daughter without Rao's understanding.
I know Vinci had like 7 minutes, right? Safely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I do have one big question I want to ask you. Let's get to the comments real quick, and then we'll get to it. I think Another name became one with Kubera, and it was so much it leaked into all Kuberas. That's interesting. It was Rao, according to her mom, if I remember season 1 correctly. Someone told Rao, yeah, and I don't think you need permission from the god. That's what I remember. I remember not needing permission too. Judging by Kubera's reaction when Rand told him about Saha, there are plenty agonies, and no one cares. It's not really blasphemous because normally that wouldn't matter. We also need to learn what God leads someone as a child, which I think is who Bented. It's hinted, implied it's the God of Earth, but I don't think we know for sure, for certain, right? I think it's one of those things where we're assuming it. It's almost explicit, but not quite there. Do you think that this being that is Elise now is kind of like Madoka when she took all the responsibilities of the magical girls? That's interesting. Think about.
Oh, that's an interesting comparison for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's usually when I see characters like this, I think about like Homura and I think about Madoka, because and right now I see Anata as Homura, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's become that full embodiment yet, but I think at some point it's gonna happen. But yeah, she's gonna have to take all the sins on for the universe to like. I think she's gonna end up being a tragic figure that no one even remembers in a lot of ways. I think Currygom gonna hit us with something mean.
Or they're gonna remember like parts, but never the full thing. They'll be like, I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah. Well,
But
anyways, here's your dinner. Rand 2
yeah.
Junior, whatever. So they all living peacefully. Okay, it would probably be great naming after a petty god like Indra or Chandra, but naming after chill gods, why not? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. I do think with Kubera, like it's obviously a lot more. Okay, here's my question before you gotta go. This is what I've been thinking about. How do you think Anato goes about trying to accomplish his goals? Do you literally think he trials and errors it? Do you think he actually tries to think it through? Do you think there comes a point where he's tried enough things, all he can do is literally change one variable, and that didn't work, let that happen, change one more small thing? Like, how do you think his process of trying to get shit to work through his timey-wiminess works? I don't know if you get what I mean.
But maybe he has cause I don't think he knows all the science and math trying to figure out. I guess maybe he takes like an educated guess.
I
Cause I
would
don't
say,
think he's dumb or
I don't
anything.
think he's stupid, but I don't think he's like, I don't think he's thinking or him. I don't think he's a cerebral character. If that makes sense. I think his
Yeah.
knowledge comes from the fact that he's a time being. But sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I think it's probably for me, I think it's a guesstimate. Also, it's kind of hard for him because he has so many lapses of judgment because if he doesn't remember what happened, so it's probably a guesstimate. So where my guess is.
Miles.
When it kind of I feel like if he could do the intelligence thing, he would. I feel like his initial I feel like he was probably one like he's very similar to Lee, so I think in his beginning stages he was extremely optimistic with like having time powers where he was like, we'll have all the time in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that caused him to do things through trial and error because it doesn't matter. And I think he kind of like realized like the foolishness of it at a certain point where it's like this shit like just doesn't change. So
Okay.
yeah, I would probably say the trial and error thing. I guess it's also hard because it's like if the Rao and Lee's thing are what's so important, where were they in all these other different timeline and universes?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Trial
would
and
be my question.
okay. Trial and error, but I think another tries to make everyone happy, which won't work. Trial and error with educated guesses, with foresight. I ate a banana Tuesday. Let's not do that this time. Okay, like it's oh, there's so much to consider. I need a bit more information, but like here's my headcanon. This is purely theoretical. This is not true. It's not based off anything but what I think. Um think originally I'm with you guys. Optimistic. I got these time powers. I can make the world better. And I do think he originally tried to make everyone happy, right? So for me, I think originally it was more like a trial and error thing, solely because maybe he didn't even fully understand what it is he could and couldn't do and how it worked. Just had to figure it out. So I think for a long time it becomes trial and error. And after he gets used to the ability and the time and how things work and how the sins could affect him, I think that's when he starts to try to make like more educated, more like specific moves. Okay, like if Chandra does this, Indra will do this. Probably this should happen. This should be the outcome. Doesn't happen. Fuck. Okay, what if I pressure Indra to do? You know, like I think I kind of that's how I see it. But I'm sure he's seen so many similar or same events so many times. I wonder if he has to force himself to react a certain way to get certain reactions. Like, okay, so let's say the conversation with Garuda. Usually, Garuda steps to him in every universe, no matter what, right? I wonder if he
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
always acts as calmly as he did, like just now, like, you're always the one who steps up to me. I wonder if there's times where he has to be like more antagonistic, or maybe be more like a victim, or fight. Like, I don't.
He probably does change depending on what he needs to write. He's probably gotten good at that
Mm-hmm.
as he's gotten, to do this so many times. Like he kind of when he first walked up on Maroon, or was it like the second time, he was kind of like scary towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was kind of like in the first place, like he was like, "Hey, yo," like we met before, but this time, like the aura very scary. So he probably, you know, maneuvers it depending on how he feels like he needs to act according to the kid. But most of the time, he probably wants them to drop their guard though too.
Okay.
'Cause I think it's a purposeful choice for him to act like. Obviously, we know he's like kind of be a bystander now, but I think it's also a purposeful choice that he doesn't try to like arouse suspicion to himself with any type of things, because if he did, he couldn't
He's one of
move.
those characters that like people to kind of almost look down on him a little bit, or think he's not that intelligent. He like plays that role, even though it's not
Yeah,
true. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
because
with you.
obviously when he talks to Maruna, he talks to him way differently. I think he does to most. Like, there's probably some people who figured out that some of the older or more insightful people knowing,
Mm,
like Yashka and Arivata when they were around. I think they kind of knew. Who
mm,
knows how much they knew, but they definitely knew stuff. But who knows?
yeah, and I guess I'll leave it off with this. Is Anata the most tragic character in Kubera, or do you still think it's probably
Yes,
Lee's?
it's him then Lee's.
Okay.
Because his story, I guess, technically still isn't done, depending on what he has to deal with when he
I
even
don't
comes
know.
back.
There's so many, man.
I
They're all.
Be-
Because
It depends how you wanna. It
even
depends how
Asha's
you wanna.
is not great.
because my thing is like Kubera, Asher, all these people's things, their experiences are still tied to one like lifetime. He's done what they did in one lifetime
No, see,
times like
that's what I
infinite.
was gonna push back, because I was gonna say, Brilliant.
Mm,
'Cause I was
Yeah, she
gonna
lives a
argue.
bunch of yeah,
yeah,
true,
Yes,
but
I would argue hers is the worst because she don't even have like obviously Anata's like top three, but like he seems to either have doled himself, because you gotta think about all the Ashtakas and Nashkas and all that. They live a long time anyway. They've always kind of done it. But she was a human. They're not supposed to go through this. So the mental damage and psychological damage it does to her is probably the far worse.
Okay, but then this kind of goes back to funny enough in Naruto, but it's like just because his senses have dulled or he's gotten used to it, it doesn't make it any less
No,
bad.
I'm not saying it does, but I think it does add something where you do because, like I said, the other ones they've always lived thousands of lives, and for them it's kind of like the concept of a moral concept was kind of always kind of meh. Obviously, he's way more advanced than the other ones when it comes to stuff like that, but even then, it's still kind of eh.
Though, though
Because
Brilith,
Brilliff, as soon as she gets her memories back and they shoot through, it's like, oh fuck, you got to remember all your people died again, all sorts of stuff. But he's definitely top three. Not to diminish what he's going through, because
But
he's
also,
basically alone.
at least with Brilliant too, she also kind of knows that Agni will always be like. At least she also knows like even like within this infinite like reincarnations and shit, she has somebody. Even though she has her own
Yeah,
like weird like awkward relationship with Agni, she knows that there's always something that she can gain new friendship. And that is just so far removed that like all these different timelines and different changes have basically made it seem probably that even the people that he does know are probably so different or the things are so different from his original timeline that he's actually just the new guy in town every fucking time.
yeah. I would
And
just say this:
especially dealing with the
he doesn't
same
have
thing
anyone
over and
that
over.
understands. He
that's
doesn't
what I
have
was about
anyone
to
Yeah.
that
say. No one
understands him.
understands him. No one can
Because
understand
even
what he's going through.
Sakura, she loves him, but she don't understand him at all.
Not
She just
one
loves
bit.
him blindly
Yeah,
without understanding.
yeah. And it won't work that way. It won't work that way. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw that in there. Oh, monkey wrench at the end there. When are you done? When do you think you'll be free again for the night?
8:30 your time, probably something like that.
Okay, so we'll do 5:40 around then.
Okay, all right, I'll be back then.
Okay, that's fine. All right, brother. Oh yeah,
Yo,
you're. I really want Brilith Lee's a team up of tragic badass characters. All of them, bro. All of their stories hurt. Raultaro's story hurts too. Brother got cursed by all the gods and lived through those curses in multiple incarnations, but she also got blessed to have good times with Agni by gods. Yeah, I don't think it's Brilith. That's not a bad answer though. I don't dislike that. I don't think shit was easy for her, but I think it's Anata right now. I think by the end I could think it's Lee's. I have my reasons for why, but it's just like, yo, that you guys. I don't even think people comprehend. The paper is black. Yo, the paper is black. No one knows what that man is suffering and going through. How many times you have to see people he likes, cares about, loves die or go through some BS, man. Like, oh, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
And no one understands. No one cares. They all think he's not doing shit. It's just like, his face, like his expressions that he makes, they hurt me when I look at it. I won't lie to you. It hurts. It hurts to look at his expressions sometimes. I'm like, bro, Nata is suffering in silence.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, think of even like movies, right, where we have these repeat days, like a Groundhog's Day or like something of that like nature, right? Where people are stuck in time loops and have to deal with their best friends, family, lovers, and it's like, dude, I know everything you're gonna say before you said it. I have revisited this same day thousands of times over, and you can imagine the hell that brings to somebody. He's done that, except instead of days, it's entire lifetimes he has to repeat. And then multiply that by trillions of times over. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah. And Rand makes a good point. Rand broke after one of those alternate timelines just by almost like being alive too long. Like he started to lose his fucking mind. Like human minds are probably no, bro. Lee's will carry that on with you. So Nata was suffering when he was having fun with Kanara and them. See, it begs to get, is he pretending because he has to? Like, we're like, I don't know. I can't. Anata has become one of those beings now. I gotta just look at completely differently from everyone in the story because he's outside of time. Imagine the paper is black. Where will Lisa's paper start? I don't know. Is there a fresh start? Do we Avatar one this? Not Avatar one. Avatar core this? Destroy the past? I don't know. But I don't think Anata's devoid of moments, like genuine moments of like happiness, intrigue, laughter, and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's just that I think maybe at the very start too. Probably I'll say it happened, but at this point, those moments are probably so far and few between. To the point where I'm pretty
I
sure he has to do things just to make shit just a little more interesting for himself because he's so like desensitized from what he's doing. Go ahead.
I think his true blue moments that he enjoys are like Yaksha and Arivada. I think those moments where he was smiling with them, like kind of like towards like the beginning of the ancient humans and shit. I think he generally enjoys those moments. I think he was like truly happy at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are probably some of the few things he always looks forward to. I also I also would guess that I think he's actually still going for like a timeline where everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like a stubborn fool like Lee's where like no matter how dire it gets, I think there'll always be that like small positive thing that they'll just always continue to fight for no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ryan was seeing white for too long. He lost it. Also seeing his dead family. Yeah. Yeah, this is another guy, man. I didn't think that.
Yeah.
She did a good job with this arc because I really came around on him. Like, nah. I started like it's to the point where like I would argue that I was one of the inverse characters that started to believe that this guy was probably a bit of a bystander, you know?
Oh really?
And I'm like, I'm at one point. I'm like, he is doing so much. You guys don't even know. Like, you don't even like. You couldn't even begin to comprehend. And y'all
Mm-hmm.
live millions upon millions of years too. I'm gonna live to like maybe 65, and it's crazy. I don't know. Oh boy, that
That's why I
paper,
have to.
that paper, man. What the fuck?
To me, that's why to me, I feel like we have to see some more shit with like the actual gods, because I feel like they're the ones that are falling behind comparatively to all the other races, where it seems like they seem to be honestly the most ignorant.
I'm not. I don't. I don't disagree with that.
Where like for people that's supposed to have access to the fifth Zen, where they can become enlightened and know all and see. But I guess that's the thing with like it's like the person. It's like the difference between a person who's read 1,000 books versus visited everywhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that brings that question into play. Where yeah, they may know everything or be aware of what could potentially happen, but their lack of experiences and actually being around with people or Nasicas has left them unaware of what these situations really bring and what they would mean to the people that are have to deal with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said, Pati got to give Murder some cheeks after this. He's been going to it. He does pull up on her in the present time when he comes back, doesn't he? In space, I think they're like in space or something. I think he pulls up on her. So we'll see. I'll not that one me over two, man. He's probably like I probably have him at like 10. He's become that like I can't find a good comparison for him in terms of maybe nah. See, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work. But he I like him. He's get because Homer is one of my Kemi's one of my favorite anime characters, and I like her a lot. And he goes through a lot of what she's going through in a completely crazier, grander scale, and I do think he's an idealistic fool a little bit. I don't like the best possible timeline to him. Probably is a timeline where literally everyone's happy. Whereas we're starting to get the possible viewpoint that for the gods it's the one that lasts the longest, despite what happens in there. So I wonder at some point humans, gods, and Nastikas, whatever, have to come to the same page on what constitutes a good life. Is it length? Is it the quality of life? What are they gonna? Are they? Is it a combination of like at least getting to enjoy it for some time? But so there's a Currygom is not real, bro. She's not real. Oh man, the paper is black. It's not even a paper. It's a scroll. Do you remember in the Weight of Time? That shit was readable. It was legible. You could read that. Now, this shit blacker than my skin. That's crazy. And I'm dark skinned. Who the fuck is from Central Huron calling me? I don't know what that is. Hormone's the best though, and Burb owns Asha. It also begs the question: did him repeating events make them worse, or was he, holding the? Yeah, like does he make things better or worse, or and by accumulating these sins, is he putting all of what he is trying to work for in danger? There's so many variables here, man. It's crazy. Really provoking. What is life worth? And time spans than ever Yaksha wanted to die and envy humans. Yeah, I can understand why he would do that because of roles and responsibility. And again, if someone's like Naya, you could live 1,000 years, but like it's mid. It's not great. You struggle and fight for everything, and it's like a really hard life. But conversely, you're like, hey Naya, you'll live 100 years, but it'll be 100 years that are meaningful, full of like love, wealth and things like that. I could see. Did I pause this? I could see it going. I could see it going well. Like I would prefer that. But all right, I'm gonna be back tonight. I'll say around 9 because the latest TOG Raw 540 I think is worth being discussed. Oh, you're back. What's up?
I have no idea like my shit just wasn't working for the past 4 minutes. I have no idea what just happened.
Oh, it's okay.
I did not hear a single thing.
I think I was that. What was I saying? I don't even know. But I was just gonna say that probably around 9 we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the newest Tower God chapter.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. You guys be safe. Parts of this will be up this week, and then next week, then the week after. So, yeah. I could put one up tomorrow, actually. So, okay, yeah, one will come up tomorrow. You already know what to do. If you already seen it, do me a favor, like, comment, give me the algorithm boost. I'm gonna be out. Yeah.